Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be painting up some Astra Militarum infantry, specifically in the style of the Death Corps of Krieg. This model here is a third-party model that I 3D printed using my Mighty 8K from Phrozen. This model's from the Maker's Cult. It's called the Valour Korps line, and this is from their infantry builder kit. This one specifically has some bits from their new veteran kit they released. I really like these kits. They're very clean. They have a lot of accessories, a lot of different options, and you can do a ton of different customizations when you're printing them and building them. For example, I added on these grenades, the backpack, the bayonet. This arm with the grenade is an optional arm. There's numerous different bits like binoculars, shovels, etc., etc. And they come fully pre-supported, and they're some of the best pre-supported files that I have had the chance to work with. We're going to start off here with a quick gray undercoat. I like to use Stynal Res Gray from Badger. It goes pretty easily through the airbrush. I just thin it with a little bit of AK 3rd generation acrylic thinner. I really like this shade of gray. It helps give a very good neutral base coat and helps kind of give a flat, washed out look to some of the colors coming up for that Astra Militarum feel. And next up, we're going to establish the main color of the model, which is the coat. I'm going to lay down a base coat of AK 3rd generation French blue. I like it adds a little bit of color to the model, even though we're going to go for a very muted tone overall. And we thin that with a little bit of AK's thinner, like always, and we give it a good base coat. Don't worry about hitting other areas. We're going to get those covered up as needed. And if you don't have an airbrush, it's totally fine to do this base coat with a brush. These 3rd generation AK paints are really nice. They paint on really nice, as you'll see later, with some of the other steps. And now we're going to get the tan areas filled in. I use AK 3rd Gen Warm Gray. It's a lovely beige color, very similar to Rack Earth Flesh from Games Workshop. Coats wonderfully, as you can see here. This is thinned with a little bit of thinner, and I'll just go around being careful, making sure to get a good coat on the wraps, the mask, I think the roll and the backpack, and this is going to look really good later when we wash it with a brown wash. And with the tans done, now we're going to move on to the dark leather areas. I use a mix here of 3-to-1 speed paint. It's a mixture of 3 drops of dark wood to 1 drop of grim black. I find that the straight dark wood is a little too vibrant for the feel that I'm going for here. I like to desaturate it a little bit with the grim black, and as you see, it goes on real smooth, gets in all those nooks and crannies pretty easily. It's an easy way to base coat your models. And we'll just go around here hitting all the spots, letting the capillary action go into those areas as you see there. And then we'll go around, we'll hit the other glove, and then we'll hit all the pouches and the belts and the suspenders, which works wonderfully when you're going around the suspenders. It's a real easy way to do it. A little bit of a secret sauce tip there. Next up, we're going to hit the dark metallic areas. This is going to be a mix of my favorite black, the Amsterdam black ink, mixed with Vallejo metal color duraluminum. It's mixed about 5 drops of the duraluminum to about 3 drops of the Amsterdam black ink. And we're just going to go around and carefully base coat anything that I want to be this dark metal color, which is basically be the grenades, the gun casings, the armor bits, and so forth. And with the dark metal base coated, we're going to move on to the light metals, which is just going to be straight duraluminum, the same Vallejo metal color that I used for the last step. This metal's pretty nice. It actually coats really easily. As you can see, it has a little bit of a capillary action there, so you just have to be careful with it. This is a new color I picked up recently to do mixing with inks to get different metallic colors that I've seen in some other videos online. Not sure if I like it better than straight Model Air metallic steel yet or not. Trying it out here on this model for the first time, like I said, but still pretty happy with it. Coverage is really, really nice, and the capillary action, some people love it, some people hate it. It's really just up to painting style. Mixes very well with inks though, which is the main reason I like to use it. And with the base coats done, I'll take my Amsterdam black and just hit the eyes really quick, and then I'll go back and touch up any areas with the original base colors that I may have missed, you know, with the original pass. And don't worry too much about the bleed over areas from things like the suspenders, because the wash is going to do a lot of heavy lifting and really cover those areas up and blend everything together. Before I move on to the wash, I'll just give it a quick coat with VMS matte varnish. And with the model all matted down, we're going to hit it with what I've been affectionately calling my secret sauce wash. In this case, it's a black wash, which is essentially a mix of Monument Hobbies glaze and wash medium mixed with a little bit of Liquitex Flow Aid and then a drop of Liquitex ink, depending on the color wash I want. Here it's carbon black. And I'll just go around, I'll hit everything on the model that is a gray tone, so basically everything but the light tans, which I'll do a brown wash on in a future step. And with the black wash all set, we're going to move on to the secret sauce brown wash. We're going to do the same mixture, just utilizing a brown ink instead. Once again, I'll put the recipe for it down below. Then we're going to go around, we're just going to hit all those light tan areas, you know, the wraps on the legs, the gas mask, the backpack. Yeah, we'll just keep it moving. And with my brown wash mixed up, I decided to go ahead and just hit the base real quick. I base coated it here with 8K 3rd generation gray brown, and this is to get a nice desaturated brown color for the base to help, you know, continue along with that desaturated theme. And with that dry, we're just going to take that same brown wash and hit the whole base with it. And with all the washes dry, we're going to move on to doing some highlights. We're going to start here with the original warm gray and just hit those top areas that the light would catch to make those areas kind of pop and draw your eye to that location. So you do the mask, do the tops of the backpack rolls. I actually leave the wrappings on the bottom unhighlighted because we're going to do a nice dusty, grimy fade on the coat and the legs later on. And next up, it's time to give that armor and weapons the battle damage look. We're just going to take Vallejo Model Metallic Air Steel, and we're just going to add some chips here and there to different areas to help break up the monotony of the flat black areas and also to give a little bit of character to the model. I like to use the Vallejo Model Metallic Air colors here because they actually have no real capillary action, so you can get some really easy chipping and edge highlights without having to thin it down or anything. You can just get it on the brush, get it on the edges, keep it moving. Similar to an edge highlight, but you know, more sporadic and random. And with the metals done, we're going to go back and add a little bit of pop to the dark leather areas with the same color we used for the base, which is AK 3rd generation gray-brown. I also noticed while I was doing the steel chips at the bottom of the hose was still gray, so I ended up just taking my original mixture of the duraluminum and Amsterdam black and just hitting the bottom of that hose and gas mask to fix that little problem. And with the dark leather areas done, we're going to move back to the coat. I'm just going to hit the edges with the original color of French blue, just to help kind of define some of those areas a little bit better and clean up any areas that we have spills on, like the elbow that had some staining on it. I'll go back and highlight it with this color. Yeah, we'll just finish up the coat here, and model's looking good, almost done. With the coat done, we're going to just finish up these buttons with a simple one-pass coat of Monument Hobbies copper. And with those buttons done, it's time to move on to the eyes, or eye lenses rather. And here we're going to start with a base coat of Monument Hobbies blue-black, which helps tie into the blue of the rest of the model without being too abrasive. And with that dry, we're going to move on to Monument Hobbies Faded Ultramarine, and we're just going to hit the inside of those lenses. And then we're going to take that Faded Ultramarine, add a touch of white to it, and just hit the really inside corners of those lenses. And then to box in those lenses, we're going to take a little bit of Vallejo Model Air Steel and just hit those raised rims and really define that area. And we'll also take it and highlight the piece of barbed wire on the base there. With that done, we're going to add the final touch here, which is going to be a dusty fade, so a little bit of weathering to the bottom of the coat. I simply took pure Liquitex raw umber transparent ink and shot it through my airbrush and just kept it to the bottom of the coat, and went all the way around, hit the bottom of the feet, tried to keep it off the base, just to keep the highlights intact. Yeah, and then we just keep it thin, keep it moving, and you get this lovely fade that helps tie the model into the environment. And with the weathering done to the greatcoat, we'll finish the model with a quick black rim around the base. And with all my models, I finish it with a quick blast of gloss varnish of your choice. followed by one of my other secret weapons, VMS Matte Varnish. You can really see here how it completely changes the look of the model at the last step. Really ties all those colors together, gives it that worn, gritty feel that you expect from the Astra Militarum, specifically the Death Corps of Krieg. And with that, the model is done and ready for the battlefield. Had a lot of fun painting this model. If you enjoyed, please like, subscribe, share, help me grow the channel, and let me know down below in the comments what you'd like to see more of.